To get the dealer's cost, the list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates, click on the Car Cost Canada tab at any time during the video. Today I'm looking at the 2019 Toyota CHR, 1 year after it was introduced, with some updates to appeal to the target market. I think the vehicle, when it was introduced last year, missed the mark on many levels, and they've corrected a lot of it just 1 year in. So who is the target market for the CHR? Well, Toyota is targeting young millennials that have a full-time job. They want to treat themselves and get their first brand new vehicle. Crossovers are all the rage. Well, enter CHR. This is a stylish, coupe-like looking utility vehicle. It's only available with front-wheel drive. And before you stop watching, just think about this for a moment. Okay, so the fastest growing segment in the marketplace is utilities, we know that. And the slightly smaller compact or subcompact utility space is the fastest growing. And some people will say, well, you're not going to buy a utility unless it's all-wheel drive. Well, one of the best sellers over the last number of years has been the Kia Soul, another stylish utility style vehicle that has been selling like crazy, and it's only available with front-wheel drive. So there is a market for these vehicles, especially if you put good winter tires on in the wintertime. Now, the thing about this product, it's built on the global platform from Toyota that, well, think about vehicles like the new Camry, the new RAV4, and this CHR, all built on a common platform they can develop into a new product. So the difference between this and a lot of its competitors like the Hyundai Kona, this is built on a compact utility platform, not a subcompact utility. So what you get with this CHR is a slightly wider vehicle, and you notice that from the front. It has some similarities to the Toyota RAV4, which is pretty good company. Now, around the back is the issue I have with this product. They tried to make it look like a coupe, and to do that, they hid the door handles in the top of the door frames next to the roof line, which is great if you're a single person or a couple. If you're planning to use this for kids, it's really not a good idea because they're not going to be able to grab that handle. But Toyota is quick to sell you a RAV4, which is actually a perfect vehicle for a young family. So this is really targeted at a single person, a young couple, or maybe even empty nesters. Around the back, the cargo area is kind of shallow, but it's what you expect in this class of vehicle. And when you open those back doors, you see that the room inside is pretty good, but the windows in the back are really quite small. And that's because they designed this vehicle to have a coupe-like silhouette, which is all the rage in the marketplace, but limits space on the inside. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Zach, what's new? That's just all the stuff we had last year. Okay, let's get into the trims. They've added an entry-level, less expensive trim, which will be appealing to some, and they added in a top limited trim, the one I have here. So now they have 4 trim levels to choose from, where last year they just had 2. So the one you see here is the limited, and even on that you don't get LED headlamps. You get projector headlamps on all trims with LED daytime running lights, but Corolla has LEDs, RAV4 has LEDs, this CHR does not. Let's get inside. The biggest changes are basically to the head unit. So the biggest complaints I had of the initial CHR when it was introduced last year really centered around the head unit. And I made that clear to the people at Toyota Canada, and they said, okay, just wait. That's stuff we can address fairly quickly. And credit where credit is due, they addressed it within 1 model year. Now, I feel sorry for people who bought a CHR because this one is the one to get now, because the screen in the center is now an 8-inch unit, and it has a backup camera in the head unit, where the old one had the backup camera in the rear view mirror, which was tiny and really poor quality. Now you get a much larger screen in the center of the dash. And that comes with every CHR, including the new lower price model. On top of that, you get Toyota's suite called Entune 3.0, which is in this. If you go to the middle and high trim, the new limited trim, you get what's called Entune 3.0 Plus. Now, I tried to figure out what that was. I think it adds a few more apps into the app suite, but I've been having trouble every time I go into the app suite. I just get the spinning wheel of death, and it doesn't really do much. Now, here's the good news. If you have an Apple phone, Apple CarPlay is included in this head unit now, no Android Auto. That was one of the things I mentioned, is that you didn't have the opportunity to get onboard navigation. You can also use the app that Toyota has with Entune that allows you to use the Scout navigation system, which isn't particularly good. I think you're better to go with the Apple CarPlay system. Now, the reason I criticized the previous model, this is a vehicle clearly aimed at young millennial buyers buying their first vehicle, and it didn't have that connectivity, and now you get it. What is good about all CHRs is it comes with standard heated seats in the front. You get a standard leather-wrapped steering wheel, and you get dual climate control, all standard equipment. That's pretty good. It's just over $23,500. And now they've added this top limited trim, which adds leather seats. Now, what's interesting is leather isn't available in Corolla. Leather isn't available in the new Toyota RAV4, but it is available in this product. So it's have a kind of different way of equipping their vehicles. Now, would you rather have leather or LED headlamps? I know I'd rather have LED headlamps. Now, the big issue is still no sunroof. I think it's because it's got that crop roof design. And also in the back, for me, still, it feels very weird to sit back there. Here's a clip of me getting in last year when I was at the launch event. And there's no real window in the back. It's really quite claustrophobic. So the whole design motif on the inside is diamond. And you see that in the switchgear. You see that in the doors. They have a hard plastic material in the doors that looks like diamonds. Same for the speaker grills. So it's kind of funky and unique looking. Once again, a vehicle that is sold incredibly well by having a fun and funky look has been the Kia Soul. So this is Toyota's attempt at that. All right, let's go for a drive. Well, there is one thing I forgot on the outside that is different for this year. With the new entry-level trim, a slightly less expensive CHR, you get 17-inch steel wheels with hubcaps. You need to go to the XLE to get the 17-inch alloys. Now, this car I'm driving today is running on winter tires, and I noticed right away the steering is kind of vague feeling, and I think it's because of the tires they've equipped this car with. But you know what? Underneath the CHR is a very good platform. So Toyota has spent a lot of money and developed a great product with their new Toyota Global Architecture, used in all of their new vehicles, in the new RAV4, the new Corolla hatchback, and so on. And it's a lower, wider platform. And that's the one thing I want to point out again about this product is this car is wider than many of its key competitors. So it feels roomy on the inside, even though the back is a little bit claustrophobic. So side to side is good. So this is a platform they spent a lot of money on to develop a better handling Toyota. And that's been a main thrust with Toyota over the last couple of years because they've been told they're vanilla, they're beige, they're boring. They want you to forget all that. And this new product does handle quite well. In fact, last year when we went to the launch just outside of Montreal, they put us on a circuit and we got to go around, and the harder you pushed it, the more impressive it was. So good job for Toyota to address the concerns that people have of the inside, which is good, and address the concerns people have had of the brand over the last few years of them being kind of dull. And it's not dull. Like so many other Toyota products, you get a continuously variable transmission. This one's really good though. I've driven it in the city, I've driven it in the countryside, and I drove it at the track there last year. It's got artificial steps to make it feel like a regular conventional automatic transmission. And I gotta tell you, the majority of people would get behind the wheel of this product and have zero issues with it. In fact, I really find this a great companion for city driving, bumper to bumper, weaving in and out. It does a really good job. It's comfortable. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention just a moment ago. I have to give Toyota credit. A lot of their cars have very comfortable seats. For me, it's a very individual thing, whether you like seats or not, but I've always found Toyota does a very good job with their seats. So what's under the hood isn't going to light the world on fire. It's a 2-liter Valvematic engine that's more efficient, and it has 144 horsepower, and it's matched to that CVT. So this is a perfect example of trying to be a good all-rounder. So somebody that's got their very first car, they want it to be reliable. You go to Toyota, you're going to get that. They want it to be fuel efficient. You get that with this 2-liter engine, and you want it to look kind of fun. And they've ticked all those boxes. This is not the product you're going to choose if you like to have a mountain carver with lots of power. It isn't that. It's a city urban runabout for somebody that wants to look stylish in a brand new product. That's who this vehicle is targeted at. So Toyota had an issue when they brought this car out last year. It was kind of expensive. It was right around $25,000, $26,000. When cars like the HR-V start around 20, the new Hyundai Kona starts around 20. So they've changed a new entry level to kind of address that. So the fastest growing segment in the auto industry is the subcompact utility space, and the best seller of that bunch is the new Hyundai Kona, and I think it's because it offers a good value. Now Toyota has tried to address that with a new entry level that they're calling LE for basically $23,500. When you compare it to Honda's HR-V or that Hyundai Kona, the starting price is more expensive, but it is a bigger vehicle. And the top one that you see here is the limited $28,775 and no all-wheel drive. Now, I don't know, at that price, I'm starting to shop at the Toyota RAV4. Now, this does have more features on the inside like leather seats, which aren't even available in the RAV4. So the whole project with this CHR was to appeal to young urbanites that like the idea of sitting up, having some utility space, but don't really need all-wheel drive. I think the sweet spot is that XLE at $25,500 basically. That's the one I would look at. It's a good effort from Toyota. They've made some improvements, but they could still, in my opinion, make a few more. Car Cost Canada provides the dealer cost, a list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. The link is in the description below.